Hey everyone, this is Mike, and I'm an alcoholic. Welcome to the Sober Living Podcast. If you're new here, I'm glad you found us. If you've been here before, welcome back. I am a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, but I do not represent them. The opinions I share are my own. Today's message comes from Daily Reflections for June 2nd and is based on page 59 of the AA Big Book. I've reworded the passage to avoid copyright issues. Today's message is, here are the steps I took. At first glance, this seems like a very simple message. This line introduces the 12 steps and how it works. The line, here are the steps I took, always struck me because it's so matter of fact. Not here are the rules or here's what you must do, but simply here are the steps I took. It feels like one person sharing with another, which is exactly what AA is. I remember coming into my first meetings and always wanting to read how it works. I would always volunteer to read it, and I still jump at the chance today. There's just something about this reading that I cling to, that speaks to me. To this day, I still close my eyes and listen when others recite it. One of the first things I heard over and over when I started attending meetings was to get a sponsor and work the steps. While yes, it is suggested that you follow steps, I didn't really view it as having much of an option. My old way of living had quit working, and I really needed to try something else. I started attending as many meetings a week as I could. I got a sponsor, and we began working the steps together. He would come over to my place, and we'd sit and read the big book, starting with the table of contents, the foreword to the first edition, the foreword to the second edition, and so on. We read every word cover to cover, alongside the 12 and 12, until I completed all the steps. That level of thoroughness felt slow at the time, but looking back, it gave me a foundation I didn't even know I was building. We would stop often to talk about sections that jumped out at us, or for me to ask questions about what something meant. Those were real memorable days, not just because they helped me understand AA and the steps, but because they helped me build a real relationship with my sponsor. One of the things he instilled in me early on was that we were going to work the steps together, in order. This was not my program to design. My way wasn't working. And he was right, because one of the first things I wanted to do was jump straight to step 9 and start making amends to my family and friends. The reality is that I was not ready, not mentally, not spiritually. I needed to first understand what an amends actually is. It's not just enough to say I'm sorry. It's about trying to make right the harm I caused. And sometimes the people we've hurt don't want to talk to us because the pain we caused is still too great. I needed to understand that was a real possibility. I know I have a hard time letting go of things too. It's one of my character defects. So if someone had told me they didn't want to talk to me, I wouldn't have been ready to hear that. I would have pushed the issue, probably built up resentments towards that person while they built up resentments towards me. I could have made things worse, all because I didn't understand how to truly make an amends. I was taught to pray before meeting with someone and not to make the conversation about where the other person was at fault. This is 100% about what I did, not what they did. How could I know who to make an amends to if I hadn't created my list and walked through it with my sponsor first? How could I understand what amends I needed to make without first understanding my character defects and how they impacted the people around me? How could I have the courage to sit down with people I harmed if I hadn't first admitted to myself, to God, and to another human being? Looking back, I can see that my sponsor wasn't slowing me down. He was preparing me for what came next. And by the time I reached step 9, I had a much better understanding of what an amends really was and how to approach it with honesty and humility. Looking back, I think that's why how it works has always meant so much to me. It doesn't just introduce the steps, it shows how each one prepares us for the next. So today, if I'm tempted to skip ahead or do things my way, I can always ask myself, have I finished the step I'm on? Have I been honest with where I actually am in the process? Because that's enough for today. I don't need to have all the answers. I just need to be willing to take the next step in front of me and trust that the rest will come in time. doesn't have to be perfect, just honest. So hey, thanks for listening. Stay sober, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Until next time.